Well, Ralph, we don't have the sound that we usually do. Let's see if I can bring it up, okay?
Sure thing.
Jim Carroll, Ralph Baber, psychology takeaway. You need a dose of the real. Life's absurd. We know the deal. Did you hear? Don't let it get you down. Turn that frown. Upside down, down, upside.
Well, hi, Ralph.
How you doing, Jim?
Okay, a little glitch there at the beginning, but hey, they left us here alone in the sandbox.
Yeah, and you know how dangerous that could be.
Indeed. Hey, we got a lot of action on our last psychology takeaway, the one where we started to talk about toxic talk.
Yeah, and our initial question was, is YouTube becoming more toxic? And we thought the answer to that was a simple yes.
Yes. Yes is simple. And the answer, I guess, is sort of yes and no, right?
Well, it depends, and we're going to say this fairly firmly today. We're going to say it depends on you.
Aha. Okay, so we're going to talk about viewer responsibility, right?
We are.
Okay.
Now, here's one of the things, last time around we talked about how the algorithm, which kind of chooses what to display for you on YouTube, makes choices for you. And sometimes the choices, very deliberately by the creators, have a hook.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Well,
anybody who is a writer knows that the very important thing you can do when you're writing a story is do something in the first couple of paragraphs that hook the reader into saying, I want to read the rest of the story.
okay, in some of the genre that you read, it would be someone dies, someone comes to town, or someone leaves town, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so action adventure stories, you often have a hero, you have a villain, and in the first couple paragraphs you're introduced to either the hero or the villain, and that kind of gets you hooked in.
Okay.
So the creators of stuff on YouTube, except us, want to hook you into reading or listening or
With
viewing
watching, yeah.
the rest of it.
Yeah, huh. Because as we saw last week, the number of clicks they get, the more potential revenue they would get from YouTube, right?
Right.
And that's when
Now,
we saw remember that
the bot farm?
weird-looking bot farm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, automated clicking.
Uh-huh.
Now, if we get clicks,
We assume they're human beings.
we assume they're human beings because who would want a bot farm talking about how to be mentally healthy? So the thing is that we say, okay, how do you avoid getting hooked into something that's toxic?
Okay. Now, remember the premise last week. You sent me a link, a YouTube link, and said this would be interesting to watch. But you got it originally because you just typed in the word revenge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to know more about the psychology of revenge,
Okay.
but I didn't say revenge, the psychology thereof. What I said was revenge. And I
Okay.
got these stories
Stories about
revenge.
people who were exacting revenge on the people who had done them dirty, right?
Right.
Except they probably weren't real people, and they were real stories, but they weren't probably nonfiction real stories, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, they all involved, or seem to involve, somebody who got done dirty, usually by a family or a family member, and had the mechanism to not only hit back at them, but to destroy their
Destroy them,
wealth,
yeah.
their place in life,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera.
Fairly nasty.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
So I watched the one you sent, and then I think like automatically after it was over, another one came up,
yeah.
and so I watched that one too, and or listened to it, and then another one came up. I mean, I didn't really have the time to just hit a button and stop the thing. It's kind of like watching a automobile accident.
Yeah, in kind of fascinated horror,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking about this later, and if I'm horrified at the first one, why did I stay with the second? Any idea?
Well, I think there's, to me, it's kind of like the example I might give is people going to a theater and choosing a horror movie
Mm-hmm.
instead of a romantic comedy.
Yeah. That in some way, the horror of other people, or the horror that was going on the YouTube story, was fascinating.
Yeah.
And maybe it even kind of tapped into something that I would have wanted. Wow, I wonder if I could have gotten back at blank, Bob Doherty or Blake Ainsley,
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah.
Well,
and
back in the day, I couldn't. I'd have to, just fight them on the playground. But now I can make a little nasty.
digs at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, ultimately, for me, I think, and maybe for other people, the old saying, the best revenge is living well.
Okay,
So,
unpack that. What do you mean?
well, for
I mean,
example,
you don't live well. I mean, you're not a wealthy, affluent individual. Is that what you're talking about?
no.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is if you are satisfied with what you have, and I am by and large,
Mm-hmm.
you are wealthy. You don't need tons of money.
Okay.
One of the things that psychology shows us is that people who are billionaires are no happier than people who have a moderate degree of income, but who have enough to eat, enough to keep a roof over their head,
Some friends.
some friends, probably materially they can drive a car which is not falling apart and they have to worry about it every day. Just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not the riches
Yeah.
of Croesus, the, unbelievable wealth. I can do anything. I have 5 homes throughout the world. No, you don't need that. What you need is to be satisfied. So living well, in my definition of living well,
Yeah, I think
satisfied with what you have.
yeah, that's a great definition, and I think it fits into a modern zeitgeist of people being just sort of dissatisfied. I think we see a low level of kind of dissatisfaction fever going around not only our country, but kind of around the world.
Yeah.
People are a little, and I'm not talking about political stuff. I'm just talking about people being a little bit off when it comes to, thinking about themselves and how they fit into the world.
And, one of the things about that is that the toxic stuff that's available on probably YouTube more so than it used to be,
Instagram, TikTok, you name it.
X, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things that people get you hooked by is that if you have a little level of dissatisfaction with the world, with your life, with who you are, you're more likely to get hooked into those things that tap into that I'm not a happy person.
Okay, or maybe it's just the ability to, get away for a while. Get away from your thoughts. I'm thinking TikTok. Um, you've told me, Ralph, that you spent a fair amount of time watching dancing cats when you first ran into TikTok.
Yeah,
I
there
think
were-
it would
there
be
were-
fun to do that. Just sit down, do dancing cats. But then at the end of the day, I still haven't gotten my paperwork done for my psychology class.
Yeah, and the thing is that, you can look at stuff that seems harmless, like dancing cats, but if it takes you away from stuff that should be important in your life, it is harmful.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing in TikTok is that there are people who are what they call influencers, as all of our viewers will know, and they have a
Yes, our
deliberate
viewers were
motivation.
born recently. They do know these things, Ralph.
And they have a motivation to say things which are either
Bombastic.
bombastic or stimulating, or maybe, in fact, well, let me give our viewers another example.
Okay, I'm all ears.
The average fashion model is now about 6 foot tall and weighs 120 pounds. That's the average female fashion model.
Okay.
The average North American woman is 5'6" and weighs about 136 pounds. Now, that figure comes from about 5 years ago. So, on average, maybe 10 pounds heavier. In the
Okay.
last 5 or 10 years, North
Yeah.
Americans have gained
Yeah.
between 5 and 10 pounds.
Right. We put on some weight during COVID. We
Yeah.
just can't get it off.
Can't get it off.
Yeah.
So,
So the point
if I'm
is-
an influencer
Yes.
and I give things that are fashionable,
Uh-huh.
now I'm not probably fashion model slim, but I'm 5'9" and weigh 130 pounds, not 120.
Okay.
So I put something on and it looks great on me. And I say, you can get this at blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
who are sponsoring me.
Ah, okay.
So I make money from the sponsor, I make money from the clicks, and I leave my viewers dissatisfied because they go out and get it, put it on,
Uh-huh.
and they kind of look like a dumpy person in a skinny dress. And
Okay.
I don't care what he says, he doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So a dumpy guy in a dress doesn't look good.
No, well, editorial remark there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another part of the dissatisfaction, I think, is the the channels showing us these beautiful people. And
Yeah.
hey, guess what, Ralph? We can never match up. We've never been able to match up.
No, I mean, and when we were teenagers doing a radio show, we were young, kind of nerdy, well, actually preteens when we started,
Uh-huh.
no teens.
But we were
and
still nerdy.
we're still nerdy.
Yeah.
But now we're two old guys
We're nerdy.
who are nerdy, who are trying to make life better for our viewers. And you know what? We are never going to win any George Clooney fashion awards.
Oh, now you tell me. Okay. Yeah. The best we can do is to, let me push a button here. I think this is the one. The best we can do is to offer to talk with you, listen to your comments, and ask you to like us. And if you want to make sure that the stuff that we do, comes to you pretty much automatically, hit the subscribe button. And we noticed that one thing when we took a look at some of the SEOs, from the last few shows, that some of you are sharing these with your friends. Great. Continue doing that. Continue sharing.
Yeah, we really, well, we would like to have that. And the other thing is, if you think they're good enough to share, uh, it makes us feel good about what we're doing because we're making people, hopefully, better people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, the other thing, though, that Jim said that I think is pretty important for avoiding the toxic stuff is you can't avoid it. You'll get something that comes up that you listen to. Maybe it gets you hooked and you listen all the way through it, like Jim did in the revenge story. And
Well, no, come on. I stopped after 3 or two and a
Okay.
half. I was
only
able to.
only 3.
Yeah, only 3, yeah.
Yeah.
I only have 3 drinks, officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is that the way to help yourself to avoid that is to turn off autoplay.
Autoplay. Now,
Yeah. Now,
what's that?
Jim said automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And autoplay is what happened to him.
Uh-huh.
He has autoplay on his computer, and he does a story, and then before he can say no, I don't. This was disturbing. I don't want any more. Autoplay kicks in again
With another one.
and gives another,
Yeah.
and then another one, and then he finally says, "I'm walking away from
Yeah.
this,"
Okay. It's like
which is the
dancing
same
kitty
thing
cats.
to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for many people who really get hooked,
Yeah.
they can sit there all night and watch people getting
Slimed.
slimed,
Mhm.
getting revenged, getting, I put my brother in prison, or I took all his money away, or he's no longer CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, those are interesting stories. They're not very true.
Uh-huh. The thing is, Ralph, if there was in fact, we used to have, I don't know if they're around anymore, these tabloids in supermarkets
yeah,
that you could get. It's I sent my brother to prison, or my wife weighs, 5,000 pounds, or, something like that. And they're just plain crazy.
yeah.
And you might stand
Elvis
there.
is still alive. The space alien probed me. All kinds of
Yeah.
seriously weird stuff.
Yeah. So you might stand there as you're checking out and read the headlines, but are you going to stick your hand in your pocket and pull out $1.50 for it? Probably not, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. So you can have some discernment and have some ability to modify your behavior, but can I use the term insidious thing with social media is that stuff just sort of comes and comes and comes, and you don't have to, quotes, pay for it. I don't have to pay my $1.50. I'm
No.
paying someplace, but I'm not doing it there.
Right. So you have a subscription for some video service
Mhm.
somewhere, so you're paying for it there.
Yeah, but it's what? It's an invisible, right?
Yeah.
An invisible cost.
So, and you can say, "Oh, I'm just going to sit here and watch." And what we know about many teenagers, not certainly all of them, but many teenagers in the United States and probably worldwide, is they end up watching 9 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
All their waking hours, are given over to some sort of viewership.
Uh-huh. So we've got ding, 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 ding. It's, lots of stimulus out there bombarding the brain. You mentioned teens. The brain still is not fully developed.
Yeah.
And it's really, really susceptible to emotional stuff. So we've got the amygdala just pumping out information to the rest of the brain, and the body, getting kind of tense and getting ready for either fight or flight. And hey, just watching YouTube can be tiring.
It can be. And, one of the things that that I'm doing in my personal life right now is I'm spending some time in my garage trying to get the garage cleaned enough to the point where I can move some stuff around and put the car in there over the Michigan winter, which is supposed
car
to
in
be
a garage?
this year, according to long-range forecasts, much more snowy than previous winters.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, that would be a goal.
Yes.
That goal has taken me away from spending so much time watching how to do machining or
Okay.
how to,
Yep.
fix a motorcycle,
yeah.
which I no longer ride.
Yeah.
And-
But if you had stayed with your screen time, guess what? Your garage never would have gotten clean, right?
Right.
And you'd be parking your car outside like you've done for the last 1,700 winters.
Yes.
Okay.
But if we believe in the online long-range weather forecast,
Okay.
lots of snow this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is, do we believe that? Is it credible?
Probably.
Probably. Is it more credible than a TikTok influencer saying, buy this dress and you look wonderful?
Probably so. Yeah.
But does somebody who puts out a long-range forecast and gets 25,000 clicks still make money?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think. Mhm.
So is it a pure motivation? No. But it kind of might be
Yeah.
like us, somebody trying to do a good thing for people.
Yeah, I think if you, I look at the squirrels in our neighborhood and they're putting away nuts like crazy. Well, I can make up a meme about how squirrels can predict a hard winter coming on, but hey, maybe even talk about it. But I have no validity, but it could be an interesting thought, and who knows? There might
Yeah.
even be a hard winter, which will validate
And-
my squirrel story.
And last night, just to give you an example, I had made a couple of meatloafs and I drained off some excess fat from both meatloaf pans and into a bowl. And then I put the bowl outside on the back step because I wanted it to solidify in the cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
I came out there in the morning. It was gone, completely gone.
Space aliens?
Why was it gone? Because Mr. or Mrs. Possum had
Sure.
come along and eaten it all.
Hey, we do our best for the people around us, right, Ralph?
Right. And so the possum that's getting ready to hibernate is much more happy.
Okay, so the bottom line here is take control over your behavior. You're the one that has the access to the on and off button, right?
Right.
You're
and
the one
also the autoplay,
autoplay.
disengage that,
Yeah.
and make choices. When you look at the things that it's offering you, make informed choices.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out, but you don't want to spend a lot of time walking around the garbage pit, do you?
No, I don't, anyway.
Okay. Now we'll try this one. Well, until next time, this is Jim
And Ralph,
saying, hey, keep your stick on the ice
because we're all in this
together. And watch for Halloween show
it's
next
coming
week.
soon.
Coming soon. I hope we can live up to this, Ralph.